Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. Here's what's happening. First, the scourge of gun violence did not take the holiday weekend off. At least 51 people were shot in New York City between Friday and Monday. 7 people died.
Mayor Eric Adams says the city's gun violence strategy is showing signs of progress, but this comes as the new statistics show shootings are up compared to this time 2 years ago. That's an important distinction. Fox 5's Robert Moses is live at One Police Plaza with more for us this morning. Robert.
Dan, sometimes I feel like a broken record because I've stood in this location so many times before and said this was a bloody holiday weekend, but that is absolutely true. According to police, at least 51 people were shot here in the city between Friday and Monday the 4th, and police are still dealing with the aftermath.
This morning, police continued to search for the people inside this SUV. Surveillance video shows gunfire coming from the vehicle late Monday night on Prospect Avenue in the Belmont section of the Bronx. Police say John Edwards, who was 62 years old and lived less than half a mile away, suffered a gunshot wound to the chest and died. Authorities do not believe he was the intended target. 2 other men were injured. The death of Edwards shook his friend Rachel Sanchez to her core.
He treated us like we was all his grandkids, like we was his children. He made sure I was safe. When I was young, I had bullies, I had drama, but he made sure I was okay. He took care of all of us.
Edwards was one of 3 people killed by gunfire late on July 4th. 2 other men died in a shooting inside a bodega in East New York. Police have now charged a 19-year-old man with murder in that case. Despite the bloodshed, Mayor Eric Adams highlighted what he calls progress in fighting gun violence.
Our plan, which we're constantly modifying, constantly shifting, is moving in the direction that we want it to move into. Is it moving as fast as I want? No, I want it faster. I'm like New York because I want results overnight.
New NYPD crime statistics show that while shooting incidents through Sunday are down more than 12% compared to the same period last year, they are up more than 20% compared to the same period 2 years ago. But regardless of numbers, the mayor knows perception is reality.
What crime is doing is it is overshadowing all that we're doing. We have some real W's.
Not even the mayor's office is immune to gun crime. Christopher Baugh, a mayoral aide, was doing advance work near Sands and Navy Streets in Brooklyn yesterday morning when police say 2 men approached and demanded his belongings. Authorities say one pulled out a gun. The suspects took Baugh's wallet and cell phone. In a statement, the mayor's press secretary said, "Chris works hard for the city every day, and he deserves to be safe while conducting his job, just like every other New Yorker."
And those new crime statistics that we referred to show that major crime, which includes offenses like rape and robbery and felony assault, is up more than 37% this year compared to last.
A man had his hair ripped out in a disturbing attack on a New York City subway train. The NYPD says the attack happened in March, but they're just now releasing video and images in hopes that they can find the person responsible. A 22-year-old man was on a northbound A train approaching the 190th Street subway station in the Inwood section of Manhattan when he was approached by the unidentified assailant. The person sat across from the victim and said, "I wish I had my pepper spray," before spitting at him. The victim stood up and the man charged at him and grabbed him by the hair before punching him several times. The victim lost hair and sustained lacerations to his head. 4 people who were enjoying a July 4th cookout in the Springfield Gardens section of Queens were hit by gunfire.
A nighttime cookout at the South Rochdale Playground in Queens ended with shots fired about 10:15 p.m. on the 4th. 3 men and 1 woman were hit by flying bullets. All were taken to Jamaica Hospital and are expected to survive.
The NYPD responded to 3 homicides in 3 boroughs within 44 minutes on a violent summer night.
Look, he's in there.
As the NYPD prepares to release its latest crime statistics today, New York City endured another night of summertime violence. In the span of less than an hour, police say they responded to the scenes of at least 3 homicides in 3 boroughs. Police say at about 11:40 they found a 30-year-old man stabbed inside of a car with TLC license plates on East Gun Hill Road in the Williams Bridge section of the Bronx. Further investigation revealed the victim had been in a dispute less than half a mile away with another man who police say stabbed him. The victim then got into the car, drove away, and crashed into a pole. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Just minutes earlier, near Sutphin Boulevard and 122nd Avenue in South Jamaica, police say they found a 32-year-old man shot in the neck and chest in the back seat of a Honda Civic. They are still investigating the circumstances surrounding his death. Police say a 28-year-old man walked into Jamaica Hospital with multiple gunshot wounds and said he sustained his injuries at the same location. And just before 11 last night in Crown Heights, police say a man on a city bike rode up to a Jeep, stopped at a red light at the intersection of Classen and Atlantic Avenues, and shot another man sitting in the passenger seat. The woman driving the Jeep then drove off before crashing. Video on Citizen app shows the aftermath. Police say she did not sustain any visible injuries, but her male passenger was pronounced dead at Kings County Hospital. Just a couple hours before all of this bloodshed, Mayor Eric Adams held his first community conversation on public safety. The conversation followed a holiday weekend when more than 50 people were shot.
We can't live in a city where 50 people are shot. We can't live in a city where young people picks up a gun faster than they can get an iPad.
While homicides and shootings have trended downward over the last year, crime remains a stubborn problem in a city trying to rebound from the pandemic.
We all want the same things. We want to be safe. We want to be able to go to the store. We want our children to be able to go to school.
Police Commissioner Keyshawn Sewell and other top police brass will be here at headquarters at 2 this afternoon. At that point, they will release those new crime numbers that I mentioned. But clearly, no matter what the numbers say, the city continues to deal with this violence issue.
The NYPD is asking for the public's help finding a gunman wanted for allegedly firing the bullet that struck and killed a 19-year-old man in the Bronx.
The NYPD has released this surveillance video. Investigators say yesterday afternoon at about 1:30, the suspects got out of a gray Honda Pilot. This was near East 156th Street and Melrose Avenue in the Melrose section of the Bronx, and opened fire and then took off. A 19-year-old riding an electric scooter was killed. If you can help identify the suspects, you are asked to contact police.
The NYPD is investigating after a teenager was shot and killed in Harlem.
Citizen app was there just after police arrived. It happened at about 3:30 this afternoon at St. Nicholas Avenue and West 147th Street. The 17-year-old was shot multiple times and rushed to the hospital where he died. So far, no arrests.
And finally, the ex-boyfriend of Asia Johnson, the 20-year-old mother who was shot dead as she pushed their infant daughter in a stroller, has been ordered jailed without bail, with prosecutors describing the killing as a premeditated execution.
22-year-old Isaac Argro was arrested yesterday. He's facing charges including murder. Police say he shot and killed Asia Johnson at point-blank range on their Upper East Side. This is on Wednesday as she pushed their baby in a stroller. The child was not physically harmed. Her family says Argro routinely abused and beat Johnson even during her pregnancy. They also claim he previously threatened to kill her.
That's this week's Crime in the City.